Hello everybody, you ready for a new situation? Appears we have another Dead Space City taken over now. New Jersey! Yay!
Facility, and they got violent very quickly, defying New Jersey's Democratic governor, who just announced peaceful protected protest zones outside Delaney Hall. And now a New Jersey man is facing charges for allegedly kicking and biting ICE officers.
This.
We are expecting more protests today, so let's go live to
now they're
Newark,
starting
New Jersey,
to bite
where
and
our
spit.
Steve Harrigan is ready for anything. Steve, what does it look like behind you?
I'm thinking they may have crossed a line here.
Protests already underway here. We've got a small pro-ICE group here, about 24 people, and then several hundred anti-ICE protesters. They're pretty much cursing at each other, separated by some of those metal barricades. The goal over the past 24 hours was to set up a safe zone, this according to the governor, where people could protest peacefully. That did not happen last night. Instead,
That's something I've noticed a lot. They say all these signs, they say not fit for humans, but you look at these people and they're not fit for themselves.
State police march in after being unable to clear the road. They used shields and batons and then used pepper spray and flashbangs to try and clear the protesters out, about several hundred strong. This is what that scene looked like last night.
They're stepping the game up. Enough's enough.
Explosion there of tear gas. It's clear these protesters were here to fight. Just around 10 p.m. things changed. They brought cases and cases of water out to wash their eyes when that tear gas hits, and that's what's going on now. A confrontation between the two sides for control of these streets out in front of the detention center.
As often happens, the crowd really changes after 10 o'clock.
Look at this motley crew.
People, a lot of them with helmets on, with gas masks, looking for a fight. The question now is, how long is that fight going to continue? We've heard from the Attorney General
Looks like The Walking Dead meets the cavalry.
Bitten in scuffles in the crowds, but it looks like they're gearing up for probably more trouble after dark here once again. Aisha, back to you.
Okay, we know you will keep an eye on that very
Good
closely
stuff.
for us, Steve. Thank you very
New
much.
Jersey
We'll come back to you live as soon as something
makes
happens.
the top 10 with Minnesota,
meantime,
New York, California.
My administration will be working together with community members, faith leaders, advocates, and state police to help people move there today. Our top priority is public safety, and we need to take this opportunity to lower the temperature now.
Lower the temperature.
Well, that is New Jersey's
Love
Democratic Governor Mikie
Yeah, they talk about
Sherrill
lowering the
finally
temperature. Well, you
bringing
shouldn't
in
have
the
turned
state
on the
police
fucking
to
oven to
help
begin with.
calm the area. Let's bring in former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf to help us unpack this picture that we're watching unfold out in New Jersey. Chad, welcome to the program. So she just announced a protest zone around the Delaney Center facility. State police has finally been brought in after we saw so many scuffles this week back and forth. Why did it take so long for this Democratic governor to bring in law enforcement?
It's on purpose. It's always on purpose.
Yeah, it's a great question. She should have done this really on day one. If you establish a protest zone and then you have local police there that are enforcing that, that allows ICE obviously to withdraw a little bit. It allows them not to have their officers front and center, and local police.
Just like the Democrats always
That's
say.
something that a lot of us,
Never waste a good,
what
do they call that?
During
Never waste a good crisis. She had to let it build up to a crisis first, so it looked like she did something.
Unfortunately, what you see there
Instead of
is
telling these
protests getting
crackheads to
more
go
and more
home.
violent overnight, particularly in the after 10 p.m. And I think it's only a matter of time before someone gets seriously injured. And hopefully that won't occur. Hopefully by having local law enforcement in there, it will help. But, just as the governor says she wants to, reduce the temperature there, the things that she is doing, the things that her
This
state
line
is doing,
cracks me up here.
with sanctuary policies, they're doing anything but that. So she needs to
That line
match,
ever breaks, there's going to be
her
chaos.
actions with her words.
There's plenty of words being thrown out there and threats by these protesters. The governor makes no mention of the threats against these ICE officers, including this one. Watch this with me here, Chad.
This ought to be good.
Kill your whole family! Your whole family's dead! Come on! Children, your wife, all dead! Put it! My boy! I have your face, mother! You're dead!
This guy here, man,
And now prosecutors are going after this guy. The Justice Department just
Well, I
charged
hope
a
so.
rioter named Brendan John Geier, they say, for allegedly kicking and biting ICE officers at Delaney Hall last night. And they say we will not tolerate the vicious attacks on ICE officers we've seen in New Jersey the last few days. These rioters are clearly not peaceful protesters, as you can see.
They never
in the
have
photos.
been.
And these horrific wounds. Assault a federal officer, you'll be held accountable. You know, the president has come out and said he believes that these are paid protesters. What do you think?
Nobody in their right mind would be going against this. This is helping our
We
country.
see here, particularly as this, the events of Delaney Hall continue day after day after day. 1 or 2 days, it could just be simple protests, but after that, you start to see professionals move into the picture. That's when it becomes usually more violent, more organized, and that's what we see here. And it's not peaceful protesting. You may have a portion of that group that is not violent, but a portion certainly is. And
Useful
that's where law
idiots.
enforcement officers have to use the appropriate
Look at
amount
that
of
bite.
force
Damn.
to make sure that they're not only protecting themselves, but they're protecting that facility as well. So what we see there at night is just what we saw in places like Seattle and
ridiculous.
Portland and Minneapolis, is that at night it starts to get very violent, and then that's where you
Who the
get
hell
local
bites a
police,
person?
ICE and others working together to diffuse the situation. But when I hear Governor Sherrill say that that it's ICE, it's federal law enforcement that is antagonizing this day after day, she is blaming law enforcement for violent agitators. That's what's going on here. It's absolutely
she's
the
making
wrong
shit up.
message I think it sends to folks in New Jersey and elsewhere. The police there and ICE there have a job to do. It is their facility.
She waited just long enough to make sure that she made the news.
There's nothing
As if
that
she could
they're
do
doing
something.
that is beyond the law. They have a job to do, and they need to do that.
Before we go, Chad, I just want everybody at home to see this. A lot of this started because there were complaints about what this ICE facility was feeding these illegal immigrants inside the facility. They were saying it was awful food, it was spoiled food.
Prison
Our
is
Alexis
prison.
McAdams
If
got
you're
a
in
hold of the
prison,
menu,
you're lucky to get
and
food
we'll
at
put it up
all.
on the screen here. This is the
This isn't a
Delaney Hall
damn
menu
smorgasbord
today.
for you.
And for breakfast, they had farina, which is like a cream of wheat, fried eggs, bread, coffee, milk. For
Shit,
lunch,
that's more than
had
I'll have
chicken
for lunch
salad.
today.
And for dinner, a variety of items: jambalaya, chicken patty, beef and bean burrito, Salisbury patty with gravy. Before we let you go, Chad, how are these ICE facilities treating these illegal immigrants?
Yeah, look, there are national standards for all of these ICE facilities, including Customs and Border Protection facilities as well. And these standards are at the highest than you will see at local jails or county jails, or even to some of the state penitentiaries as well. Very, very high standards. And then there are internal groups. There's 4 different groups inside DHS that go out and inspect these facilities.
Yeah, look at that
There are
one front and
outside
center
groups that
there.
Go out and inspect these facilities. So this idea that somehow they're subpar.
How many colors of
conditions,
red
or
is in
they're
her
not,
hair?
Getting the right food, or they're
She's
not
got the
getting
whole
right
damn rainbow
medical
in
care.
there.
They even allow for mental health checks for some of the detainees. And so in many instances, these detainees there are getting some of the best health care that they have likely ever received in their life. And so
RGB
when I hear
minus
that the
GB.
facilities, this is from the left has done this years and years and years. Doesn't matter the facility, whether it's Delaney Hall or elsewhere, they will talk about how it's bad conditions, it's bad food, you're not getting medical care. That's not actually
Kills
what
me.
they care about. They want these facilities
Perfect
closed.
food,
They don't believe
perfect
anyone should be in
medical care.
detention. And just like the Biden
What do our
administration, they
veterans
want them
have
all
right now?
released on parole and into every American community.
Yeah, well, that's not happening under this.
They're probably getting better
Chad
treatment
Wolf,
than our
thank you for
veterans
joining us
right
on
now.
this breaking
And then
news.
you got
Appreciate
these
it.
crackheads out here
Thank you.
Okay.
trying to raise a fuss. That's ridiculous. Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting summer with some of the craziness that I'm sure they have planned. Now, I'm kind of thinking about some jambalaya and go watch the Knights Templar. That'd be a good combination right now. Better than watching some of this bullshit going on. You sit there and make up a crisis, and then they finally jump in at the end after, ICE officers got bit and stabbed and whatever else. Great job, Mayor. Yeah, Governor, whatever you were. I don't even pay attention half the time to these blue cities. They're just crap. They're pure crap. All they want to do is just cause chaos and orange man bad and hate America. They never want to leave. Like They say they'll leave, but for some reason they never give us that satisfaction to go ahead and get the fuck out. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this right here. Out of like, subscribe, share, and all that other stuff people say, just please subscribe so you can see my next videos. Thanks a lot and have a good night, guys. Don't forget, America first.